Let me try not an event. Public? Save. Oh, that's how people change it to private and then publish that stuff later. Okay, if we had like an after show or something.
The saucy after show.
Sending data. Yeah, this NOFODcast at night. Okay, we're live. I just had to change the I don't know, I just had to change the setting from an event. It was set for an event.
Now Renee can rest easy on his
Renee
platform of viewage.
The ad supported tier.
Hey man, I watched some people on
should be live.
on YouTube, and they're highly defensive every time somebody mentions Twitch. They're like, "Oh, Twitch sucks."
I think it comes down to the revenue sharing, right? Unless you're a hot tub streamer or something, Twitch is not really advantageous.
No. I'm talking about like the viewers. I don't think the streamer itself cares.
Oh, okay.
Because they usually stream at both, but people have a preference.
The other podcast that I've really come to love in the absence of what used to be Giant Bomb, they do Sunday nights as well, so I never catch them live, but I get their live notifications, and they stream to Twitch, YouTube, Twitter Live, whatever that is, Facebook Live. They're on like all the things. But I think that's that paid tier of Restream that you have to get to that point. Cause
what about that? What's that new streaming service called? Kickstream or something?
What is that?
It just started. Like they're signing people left to right, kind of like how your favorite Beam service used to do.
Oh, Beam was amazing. Remember how good Beam was?
Yeah, it's called Kickstream.
Renee says I'm back. I hate Twitch.
Yeah, I told you.
Why?
Yeah.
Is it the interface? Like, why, Renee? We have 5 people on Twitch watching us, so hey.
People hate Twitch, man.
Renee, stay on Twitch so it doesn't go away.
Noticed.
I mean, so we have YouTube. We have YouTube for that purpose. I wish we could save it. I wish I have the bandwidth and resources to save it and then upload the full episode does go on YouTube. It's just whatever we record from start to finish. But like an edited version of like, here's the podcast.
You mean the one where we're always playing Fleetwood Mac music in the background?
Yes, of course. As we do.
It's my preferred universe to be in.
So that's my brand new watch. I have no clue when it happened. I got the deepest gashes in the top corner of it, and I have no clue what happened.
This makes me sad for you.
It's awful. Do you know of any way to like get those? It's not even a scratch. This is a gouge. It's like I could catch my fingernail in it. It's bad.
Did you buy the Apple Care?
Negative. I do not do the cares of the apples. I take care of my shit usually.
You probably have to go through Apple or one of those iFixit or something like that. I think it's probably gonna be like $50 or something like that. It's the equivalent of changing out the screen. I don't know what to tell you. I have no good news for you. I've never changed one myself, if that's what you're asking.
Curious. Carrier insurance. Professional screen repair is $119 to $399. I paid $270 for the watch.
I was going to say, I've seen them on sale for cheaper than that.
I got like a full enclosure screen protector. You can just buy one of those and put it over and hope it disappears. So
I only see it if it's in direct sunlight, and that doesn't happen to me often anymore. So that's just this weekend.
When it rubs against your arm
and catches hair.
And then when you look over and there's all that blood on top of it, it's like, when did I start bleeding?
Because I cut myself, cut myself. All right, we ready to rock and roll, gentlemen?
Yep, let's do it.
We're live on everything. I'm following on everything. Hi-ho, the Dario.
Oh, God, don't. No.
What's wrong with it? What do you got against the Dario? Cesar's leaving us as I go into the preamble. We wait. Thrilling content. Thank you, 6 people, for joining us for this. As he ducks out. It is 8:20. You never know how long this is going to take. Thank you, everybody who's here with us. We hope you'll stay. We hope you'll like us on Twitch so we can get to 50 people finally. It'll never happen. Renee says, sadly, I'll have to buy an Xbox Series X. Why, Renee? Why? even though that is the one that plays discs and is a fabulous way to have backwards compatibility with the Xbox ecosystem.
He's only been playing on S up until now?
Yes, that is a portable device for Renee.
Oh, my bad.
Suits his
American Dad,
lifestyle,
Stan, and
so.
Roger stoned. What did they buy, Cesar? What did Stan and Roger buy? I don't want to slice my finger open on my watch as I inspect the message.
Oh, that's just the drug episode.
Oh
I was
yeah,
talking about.
you send this to me frequently.
Yeah, you've seen this before. Yeah. One where they sit there forever trying to figure out what they're gonna buy. Cheetos. Oh, there's a Cheeto on the Cheetos. I get it.
Oh shit. Do you know why Renee's buying an Xbox Series X? Do you have the backstory?
I have no idea, man. Man does random stuff.
This we know.
I have not talked to him. I think he messaged me about playing Halo last night, but I was already in the comforts of my bed sleeping. Yeah. And I meant to message him this morning, and I haven't had.
I got an itch,
yet.
man. I haven't played Call of Duty or Halo in like 6 days. I'm fiending.
Be alright, man. Nobody's that addicted to anything. Just put in a bad Call of Duty, and then you'll stop like Ghost. And then you'll be like, I'm
World at War with the grenade level.
Oh, the flamethrower when you get past the grenades. What happened with me? Yeah.
That was one of the first games on 360 that like people encouraged me to buy. They're like, "Oh, you're playing World at War. You got to play World at War with us." And I got it. I'm like, "What is this shit? This sucks."
Because it was World War II or what? Because it was the first post Modern Warfare.
I guess it was not that great. Well, and then they talked me into getting Modern Warfare. I'm like, see, this is.
I know you loved Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare was awesome.
Still you are the guys who love the Modern Warfare. To this day, still, Black Ops is still my favorite Call of Duty of all time.
Black Ops was pretty damn good.
I was reading a press release from August 2011 where Sony was dropping the price of the PS3 to $299 and also had the one of them was the Call of Duty bundle. And somebody in the thread was like, "You can get the same you can get the Black Ops bundle for $299. Get it." 320 gig hard drive. Yeah. That was fun. PS3 catch-up times was fun. PlayStation. Renee says he watched the comparison between the two. The X wins.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a revelation?
I thought that was...
I don't know. This is...
is this a fever dream conversation?
I don't know. It's weird because this is not new, right?
Everybody knew that it was going to be less powerful than the X.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's because I recommended. I mean, at the time, Renee, it was easier for him to get a Series S.
Yeah,
so he just went and came to
Renee,
it's
super small and super portable, and for like Warzone and Halo and stuff like that, it's a great console. Yeah. You're not taking any hits, especially for the portability. But
I think he wants to put an 80-inch OLED 4K TV in his truck, so that's probably one of the Series X.
We're down to one Twitch viewer and one YouTube viewer. that fell off fast.
Somebody's very upset about us talking shit about the Series X. Yeah. I don't know. I refreshed the page. It says we got 4 people on Twitch. Okay. You salted the other 3 people.
Restream. Yeah. Maybe it's just Restream's numbers or the algorithm's off.
All right. Yep. We're going to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 247 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Tonight's news, which is all news to me. I've been in the woods for 5 days with no internet. It was kind of nice. Tonight's news, Shinji Mikami is leaving. ? What? What is this? Polymega is now free! ! I'm looking at one that I paid for next to me. It's still in the bubble wrap. Another big name not showing up to E3. Who could that be? Joining the ranks of the likes of Microsoft, and we'll find out later. And Sony. Speaking of Sony, Brant, good job. Sony State of Play. I guess there was one of those. Let's find out what happened.
Oh, gosh.
I think it was like 4 titles or something, or 4 4 overviews. Damn, my Alexa's going off from like 3 rooms away. And we also have some late February Game Pass games. Hold on, let me pull up my list. I'm one of your hosts. I'm the regular PB Crisp, Richard Bergman. Joined tonight by new PB&J Crisp with strawberry filling.
You took my PB Crisp that I informed
with
you
strawberry
about.
filling.
As
Also the
resident
newsmaster, Brant McKee. Brant McKee, you can open it from the top, and that is a bite-sized snack. Artificially flavored. Strawberry filling and peanut butter cream inside, crispy cookie outside. And it looks like packing peanuts.
Telling you, they were awesome.
All right, I caved.
They did kind of look like packing peanuts.
I caved. I went on the website. Yeah, you see. Whether or not I want them to come back or not, it's a different story. But yeah,
that voice you hear and probably recognize is our resident chocolate crisp, PB Crisp. Cesar Concepcion II. He has sweet chocolate cream inside and a crispy cookie outside, just like you expected. He's also a bite-sized snack.
It all sounds pornographic, but I'm looking at the the latest updates on here, and I see that they were featured on Watch Mojo. This website's like very detailed on keeping it up to date.
Is this pbcrisp.com, the one that's like bring back PB Crisps, the subreddit?
Yeah.
Do they have a...
It's pretty good, man. Do you work for Hormel Foods?
This is well done. PB Crisps were an utterly delectable mid-90s snack food. After being discontinued for many years, there still isn't a comparable snack. Because these...
we are unsatisfied.
There's been a lingering hunger since they left the market.
I mean, this is Hormel, right? This is the same people make chili, right? They couldn't just make some like chili-based PB Crisp ones? Like
they went through the process of killing the Planters peanut at one point. They had the little mini junior planter guy.
Oh, yeah, and they brought him back, didn't they?
And they just roasted him, apparently. I've been seeing ads for that.
These photographs on the website, Cesar, did you see? They're brought to you by the dinosaur Dracula.
That's a good-ass name, man. That's a good-ass name.
Opening a pack of Planters PB Crisps from 1993.
I'm going all the way down, and I'll see, Fester Gomez from my Addams Family, which was Christopher Lloyd's character, holding PB Crisp. When you go down to the very bottom with the beans.
That's a good advertisement. Did these taste good? They look like
shit. They were damn good, man. Shit. They were so good.
Look at them, though.
So I remember them being
crisp.
Good. So, whether they were actually good or not, we'll see. You know,
who knows? Will we ever know?
Bring them back, damn it. I don't know. Are there some listings on eBay for
Would you buy a pack?
I mean,
oh God, no. They.
What if under sellers you saw the dinosaur Dracula?
You found them. I mean, they brought back Crystal Pepsi. I mean, anything's possible. So,
yeah, I guess that's true.
The movement has over 10,000 followers across all social groups. Our posts generally reach 30,000 to 200,000 people without any additional advertising. Holy shit! Hormel's acquisition of Planters has been completed. They're like updating this shit. Oh, Cesar, where's Christopher Lloyd?
The very, 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 very
the memes. There he is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Gomez.
People are selling vintage PB Crisps boxes, empty boxes, coupons. They're like the coupons that you would pull out of the little red coupon dispensers at like Kroger.
For 50 cents off and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, I don't see any listings for anything.
Do they melt in your mouth? They look jet puff, like they would melt in your mouth.
No, they are like it is like a puffy kind of thing, but it has a crunch to it, and then the inside is filled with the whatever filling. How did we become the PB Crisp podcast all of a sudden?
Southeast Premiere.
You brought it, man.
You did.
I guess I did start this.
I just ate it in the 90s, and I thought they disappeared and never once thought about it ever since. So, I mean...
PB Crisp, Butterfinger BBs, Surge.
Surge came back.
The only Surge came back. I may have a can or two hiding somewhere.
And there's a Surge Zero at Burger King. If you can find Burger King with the freeform thing, they have Surge Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Renee says, "Why does it sound so nasty?" Why? How did I describe it? The jet puff version. They look okay. We're giving Brant some shit, but they actually look like a decent snack.
I mean, I used to eat it when I was a
I
kid.
loved them.
This is Brant's segment. We have aluminum and aspartame. He's got
Ass.
Random vintage 90s.
styrofoam and cellophane.
Mhm.
It's Brant's bit. Nothing consumable.
Yeah, the styrofoam.
Yeah,
peanut.
just packing materials.
Yeah, I'm going to take packing peanuts and inject peanut butter into them.
I mean, that's what
There's my
Hormel
PB
was
Crisps.
Or
trying to bring back.
You could just, yeah, or you could just do that with circus peanuts and call it the same thing.
Oh, God.
Do we know what else is in the Hormel extended universe? What would be is there a
Chili.
conflicted
Hormel
Is there a
extended
conflict-
universe.
Chili crisp.
Brand, the
I told you,
HMU.
chili crisp.
Is there a crossover with the Twinkie Kid?
I mean, do they have a conflicting product in their catalog where
What are
they
we
couldn't
doing?
bring back PB Crisps?
Oh
I
God,
don't know.
no, because I mean, I'm assuming that website wouldn't exist. So, if that was the case, you have Spam, Applegate, Genios, Chi-Chi's, Corn Nuts,
Corn nuts.
Black Label Bacon, Hormel Chili, Mary's Kitchens, Natural Choice, Pepperoni, and Wholly.
Are any of these brands relevant to anyone? This is how you add to that portfolio and bring that full circle. None of these brands that you mentioned are relevant to anyone under the age of 50. Corn nuts.
Skippy Peanut Butter.
Who-
Planters is on
What
here.
fellow millennials do you guys know that are consuming corn nuts for breakfast?
Corn nuts.
I don't know, man. I don't work with millennials, so.
Who's your work base? Is it older than millennials?
Mostly, yeah.
Works with a bunch of boomers.
Not that.
Gen
not that
Z?
old.
Just a bunch of Gen Z
Yeah.
then.
All right, let's get on to this actual news instead of the deep dive into peanut butter snacks that this podcast has delved into. Okay, according to Sauermano Gamatsu, man, he's prolific over there at that platform. Shinji Mikami to leave Tango Gameworks. Update. Studio founder and head to depart in the coming months. Tango Gameworks founder Shinji Mikami will leave the studio in the coming months, Bethesda Softworks senior vice president Todd Vaughn announced in company-wide email verified by True Achievements. I am writing today to let you know that studio head Shinji Mikami has decided to leave Tango Gameworks in the coming months, Vaughn said in the email. Mikami-san has been a creative leader and supportive mentor to young developers at Tango for 12 years through his work on The Evil Within franchise, Ghostwire Tokyo, and of course, Hi-Fi Rush. Gamatsu notes Mikami, who is best known as the creator of Resident Evil series during his 16 years at Capcom, founded Tango Gameworks in March 2010. Damn, that doesn't seem like it's that long ago when you say 2010, but when I'm thinking of Tango Gameworks, it's like they're pretty new. That's the guy from Resident Evil 4. They're gonna be fine. It was acquired by Bethesda Softworks parent company ZeniMax Media in October that year, so that was a quick acquisition on their part. And then Gamatsu just reiterates that is the games he worked on: Ghostwire Tokyo, Evil Within, and Hi-Fi Rush. In the email, Vaughn also said that Hi-Fi Rush was one of the most successful launches for Bethesda and Xbox in recent years, and that it has, quote, generated significant positive momentum for the business and Tango. This comes from Bethesda. We can confirm that Shinji Mikami has decided to leave Tango Gameworks in the coming months. We thank him for his work as creative leader and supportive mentor to young developers on The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush.
I love how their update was literal, just the exact same thing that was already
that email's right. Yep, we sent that email. That was us. Yep. We're happy to see, or we're not happy to see him go, and these are the 3 things he worked on. 2 of those are very similar, and one of those is not even in the same wheelhouse as the other 2. Do you think he was like, they founded Tango and they were like, we need you to make more of those Resident Evil games, and finally he broke through and he's like, look, people want this rhythmic music platformer that looks like a PS2 Dreamcast game, and it was super successful, and he was like, I'm out. This is what I wanted to make. I'm done. Has there been any other updates?
Exit on his
What's that?
highlight. Exit on a highlight.
Has there been any other updates or like mention of where he's going or anything?
No, he might just be retiring.
Been around for a long time.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he's made comments in the past where he's feel like that making games is a young man's industry now. So
Yeah, but
he hasn't said anything.
he wasn't. I wouldn't think he's like in the trenches anymore, right? He's more of the Miyamoto style, overseeing production and inputting when
That's
need
what
be.
I would think.
Was Tango an American? Excuse me, an American division of Bethesda?
No, in Japan.
So it's not like it was a different, like cultural development change. And he's a co-founder, so that's like his baby.
Yeah.
Because
I think the last thing he directed was what? I don't think he even directed Even Within. No, he did direct Even Within. Yeah, that was the last game he directed.
What's our over/under on the next news of Shinji Mikami's career?
I don't know. That's if you go online, there's people arguing about it. All the Xbox fans saying he's retiring, and everybody else says that he's moving on to another studio. So
why do the Xbox fans have this insight of his career path?
Because they don't want to lose him to somewhere else that isn't Xbox.
Oh,
it's always funny to see people argue about
the internet battles.
Yeah. No, he's retiring. He said this, and they listed this article about him retiring. It's like, yeah, you guys are idiots. You're wrong. I was laughing this whole time I was in a Twitter thread. I was like, oh my god, these people are taking it seriously.
I mean, he could be fully retiring. He could just be taking a break for a while.
Yeah, he hasn't said. It just all.
I mean,
literally, you look at his tweet. I mean, that's all. What I told you is what he said. He said, "It's a young man's game. Please support the people at Tango." That's what he put in his tweet. So he didn't reference what he was doing. He just said,
studios are always more than just one person.
I mean, people get burned out, man. Yeah, let the man take a break.
He looks old in that picture.
30s. Yeah.
He's in his 30s and he spent 16 years at Capcom?
Hold on, let me see again. He might be in his
So you think he's a little bit older?
I don't think he was that old. That's why I was looking at it too. Oh no, he's 57.
I love Capcom at the ripe old age of 8 to form my next studio. Well, I mean, going back to that point, the only game that he's worked on that's not available on a PlayStation platform is Hi-Fi Rush, right? Like a brand new, it's 3 weeks old. It's the only thing that hasn't been released on everything.
I don't know. They said Hi-Fi Rush has been in development since 2017, so it was probably going to be released on other things.
It might have been something he was fighting for. My theory might have checked out a little bit. I'm tired of making this shit. I want to make something fun and platformy and cartoony. I'm tired of all the dark evil shit. Let me make something that doesn't have evil in the title. I wonder if he's gonna remember the lady that kind of stole E3 a couple years ago when she was one of the lead directors of Ghostwire Tokyo, and then she didn't see that through. She left and went to another company.
She started.
I wonder if they end up doing a collaboration. Maybe there was some sort of political upheaval in there. It's all speculation.
Or we can just not speculate.
That's the fun. What good is a podcast if we don't speculate?
We
just report. We're speculating. We're not reporting. We read the report. Speaking of reading the report, someone tell me about the Polymega updates. I think Cesar sent me something, and I was not able to fully scope it out.
So I actually saw this and added it because I had not seen anything about this. But this comes from VGC, Chris Scollion. Of course, this $550 emulation console Polymega is now getting a free app version.
Is that how much it was? $550?
Yeah. Well, at least that's how much it is right now. I don't think that's how much it was for the Kickstarter.
I'm pretty sure I would not have. Yeah, I don't think I would have paid $550. I might have. Cesar would know. So what does the new thing do?
So of course, Polymega is the retro console, which currently costs $549 with one controller, and enables players to insert their own PlayStation, Saturn, TurboGrafx CD, and Neo Geo CD and Mega CD games. Rip them straight to the storage, and then you can just play them
on their emulation.
From
so if long-time listeners or new listeners, if y'all haven't caught up, like we backed this Kickstarter like 5 or 6 years ago, and it was supposed to be an FPGA-based solution. Then they pivoted to emulation, but still the thought was rip these ROMs using a new CD-ROM drive compared to any of these other ones, which range from 1991 release to 96 or 7. So you're talking replacing a 25 plus year old CD-ROM drive, which was always a good scenario for those supported platforms. And I think Cesar's had really good luck with his.
Mm-hmm. They also offer, and notes that they also offer the other modules from $80 to $90 for your cartridge-based things like NES, SNES, Mega Drive, Genesis, TurboGrafx 16, and the new N64 one. But the Polymega is making an app which will be available on all of your devices that offers the basic console functionality for free. So you'll be able to use a standard disk drive to rip CD-based games and then use the Polymega emulators to play them on the PC or mobile apps. There will also be a subscription-based service called Polymega XL, which adds premium features such as cloud saves, cheat codes, an audio player, and the ability to apply third-party patches to the game with translation patches. Which, of course, if you have the actual hardware, you can just download the patches and install them to a disk drive. The company will also be selling a $150 Polymega Remix, which is essentially just a USB drive that can be used to rip discs, but also adds support for the
cartridge
module.
Yeah. Basically making it like a RetroArch ripping platform. So these backed up games like Cesar, the ones you've burned, you'll be able to play those burned. The ones you've added to your console, you'll be able to play through that cloud service. Is that what it sounds like? Am I reading that right?
I think so. I don't know if you already have the console, if you technically... I don't know if they're going to make you pay for a subscription or if you'll be able to just access, hey, you can move stuff to the cloud and move it in between. If you just set up like a Polymega account or what the heck.
The next bit says, according to Polymega, a closed beta for the app will launch in March and will be available to anyone who's ever made an order on the Polymega website. So that does include Cesar and I. Brant, did you ever jump on any of their products?
I did not. I've been looking, but that 550 is, I mean, it's between that or a PSVR 2, and I'm not buying a PSVR 2 right now.
Cesar, I think you ducked out for a second. We didn't pay $550, did we? Was the one that Kickstarter like much less than that?
I don't know.
I remember. I remember the Kickstarter not being that much.
In addition, anyone who purchased the base unit or deluxe bundle before December 31st, 2022 will get access to Polymega XL features during the beta test period, as well as a year's free upgrade to Polymega XL when the app comes out of beta. So that does include me and Cesar.
So you'll get a year free. Yep. So you have a year to transfer all your game saves.
Try it out and see how it works.
Yeah.
Many players who have pre-ordered, because that's all I see on their Twitter feed is people screaming at them about when are they getting their consoles. Many players who have pre-ordered a Polymega base unit will have still yet to receive their orders, with some claiming to have been waiting years. I can't confirm that's what I've read. Polymega cites very long lead times for components on their motherboard as the reason the base units have been taking so long to manufacture and distribute.
I know if you go to their Twitter, like you said, there's a lot of people saying, that's great that you're releasing, this N64 module, or that you're, doing this app or whatever. But where's my console? I've been waiting,
They list their date.
However many months.
September 2021.
However many years.
Yeah. They're busy on there. Oh boy. For some reason that motherboard, the components for the motherboard got hit pretty hard over the past couple of years. So the XL thing actually sounds, or the Remix thing actually sounds pretty cool. The USB drive.
Yeah.
And then, that takes the place of having an optical drive which I think all of us strive to have some sort of capacity for our PCs, but You also get the module expansion capability with that platform, which is cool. Yeah, this is neat. Is it becoming a... They're doing something nobody else is doing, right?
Yeah. It's actually, I mean, they need to work on the production of it, obviously, but they're, you know, at least kind of growing their brand.
That will garner some goodwill for sure.
And, you know, at least anybody that's, like you said, anybody that's made a order with them, they can, even though they don't necessarily have the hardware in their hands, hey, you can, if you got a disk drive, throw your games in there, download the app, you can start playing, you know, here, do that, and get your stuff moved over, back up. All your games, because I mean that's the biggest draw with this is, hey, rip your games and back them up, so that you have decent backups of your game. You don't have to constantly pop the disc in there.
Right. And that was their first, you know, I talked about that in the beginning. That was their first big push for their premises. Like, now you have a brand new optical drive for these unsupported platforms. Because we haven't gotten anything from... Well, Sega put out that thing that had the Sega CD titles. PlayStation put out the PlayStation Classic, which I guess, of course, is... You know, there's no non...
It's a big old flop.
Oh.
Only made better by third-party sellers selling... what was it? The meth pack and crack pack.
Crackhead pack.
A USB... Yeah, USB devices.
Did anybody ever mess with any of those? Are they still out there?
I did not. I think a lot of them have been delisted, honestly. I'm sure you can probably find them.
Yeah, and I bet that's just a torrent somewhere where you don't have to pay for their you don't have to pay for their stick. Okay, bunch of Polymega news before E3.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Before E3, I guess they're skipping E3.
Who else might be skipping E3?
Who else might it be? This comes from Jordan Midler at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Nintendo confirms it will not attend E3 2023. The E3 show didn't fit, quote, in Nintendo's plans for the year. In a new statement, the platform holder confirmed it will not be part of the resurrected. That's never a good sign for an event, but this is the PAX people putting this one on, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo's confirmed that it has no plans to attend the Resurrected event, which is scheduled to take place in June. We approach our involvement in any event on a case-by-case basis and are always considering various ways to engage with our fans, Nintendo said in a statement. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plans, we have made the decision to not participate. However, we have been and continue to be a strong supporter of the ESA and E3. It's so stupid.
I loved that. I loved that whole statement. When I read it, I was like, yeah, we're not going to be there. It doesn't really fit into our plans. But, you know, we're a big supporter. We really love them.
I'm dying laughing.
There, but
here's our dues.
Yeah, we're not going to be there.
We're so sorry. Here's our dues for ESA, for ESRB on our cartridges. Oh, man. Yeah, that's just funny as shit. Well, if you look at... We always look at the platforms, right? And what their shows look like and what they've turned into. Nintendo does a direct. They have a pre-filmed thing. And for what they've done on show floors when E3 was relevant in the past couple of years is they had one big title that they showed off. It was either like Zelda or Mario Odyssey, I think was one year. Was that it? Did they do 2 in that lifetime? And then like a Mario Kart. We got all 3 of those games in 1 year, though. It wouldn't have been that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Zelda 1 year, and then it was Super Mario Odyssey the next year with all the Cappy stuff. It was Cappy everywhere. That was probably E3. Yeah, that was Switch launch year because Zelda had already come out at launch. So they don't need this any more than any of the other ones do. I think the way they distribute news now seems like a big money pit to send people out there and set shit up and run interviews and do all the stuff they do on a video anyways. It's just going to be a treehouse stream. And they already have everybody there. They don't have to get them to California to do something and rent the space and have all the hassle and cost.
Yep.
So.
And it's so much more curated. You can, film it, edit it however you want it, rather than having to worry. Like you said, you got the people out there. You got to worry about technical issues and
interviews,
everything else. Yeah. So it's, or if somebody messes up while giving an interview, or it makes more sense for all these companies to just film their own things, put out.
Yeah. VideoGamesChronicle.com notes, PlayStation is not formally attending the show. Ubisoft is the only one to confirm its appearance at the show.
Yeah.
And they're the worst ones. We're going to get Just Dance, Skull and Bones update.
There is one other one. I didn't put it in news, but and who knows? It might not be an E3 thing. It might be a Summer Games Fest thing. What did we coin? June Games.
June Games.
Summer Games. June Games.
Join us in a couple months for June Games.
But you probably saw where, was it Jeff Grubb or something that had said something about Konami was supposed to have a pretty good big presence during this Summer Games, June Games.
Oh, interesting.
E3 with a possible new Castlevania and the worst kept secret of the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Specifically 3 is being mentioned now?
Yes.
Why 3?
Because there's been... Well, that's the thing, is 3 is so highly regarded. I think 3 has been tossed around a lot as the big remake, and the rumor said that they're gonna... The rumor said that that's gonna be used as a... basically as a testing ground. To gauge the want for the remakes of Metal Gear.
And we already had our remake of the first one. It was the GameCube exclusive Twin Snakes, which hasn't aged all that well, but is still a unique way to play that game with the mechanics of Metal Gear Solid DOS. Yeah, 3 is... We always have this, like, is it my favorite title or is it the best title? And I think it's the best Metal Gear Solid title. And it's a very good game. My favorite is the impact of Metal Gear Solid, the first one. But 3 is Snake Eater, so damn good. Anything else? So I'm sure we're going to get random E3 news popping along. There's the E3 organizer. It's in this Video Games Chronicle news bit. It's Reed Pop. They've been doing PAX the past few years, so they know how to put on a show. Sounds like it's going to be, E3 is going to be more of a PAX style thing anyways. It's going to be open to everybody, and it's not the big press thing that it was before, and all the appointments that you don't really need to do anymore with, what was that service called where you could, like, connect to another device and play that? Parsec. I think it's called Parsec. But you can demo anything remotely. Maybe. You don't have to do the whole, hey, come, we're going to fly you in to play the newest Bomberman. Come check out the new Bomberman. There's other ways to spread that content. And now that we have like live service stuff and early access and all that sort of thing, it really has no use. All right, no Nintendo at E3. But we did get a pre-3 very recently regarding Sony's PlayStation platform. Brant, what did we see?
Oh, this state of play, as it was, which was interesting. I'll give it that. It didn't necessarily blow me away.
This was a quick announcement and a show, right? Because I came out of the void of no internet and saw that there was one. And only one bit of this even stuck out to me, but I guess this is like part of the PSVR 2 media push.
Yeah, okay. So the PSVR 2 had just come out a few days ago, and they, showed off. That's basically what they led the show with, was, you just put out a new piece of hardware, you want to showcase more games. Yeah. They have pretty decent selection of titles that, that came out day one. So... But they're already announcing more stuff. Stuff like they got 5 more PlayStation VR 2 titles. Stuff like The Foglands, which was that, like... It was the...
It says steampunk shooter. I've never heard of this one.
See, this one, it had like the supernatural elements to it, is what I remember.
The
There was
the news briefing just says steampunk shooter, The Foglands.
Mhm.
What do you do in it?
It's a first person shooter.
Like free roaming or like Rain of Blood? Was it Rain of Blood? Rush of Blood.
Dang it! This isn't even all of them.
Oh, from this Polygon
Sorry
article?
again. Yeah, sorry. I looked through several ones looking
It looks intriguing.
for the best ones.
I know this Green Hell game
That
is on
one's-
Oculus.
Yeah. So the Foglands looked good. There was also like a couple other third-person shooters. First-person shooters. One that use like telekinesis in. There was
That always works well in VR.
I can't remember.
Is that Synapse?
I did-
Is that the one you're describing?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the other one. The it was like the last one that they showed for PSVR 2. It was it's a game where every time you blink, you progress through your player's life
Before your eyes?
before your
Oh,
eyes.
it uses that
There we
eye
go.
tracking stuff.
Yes, and that one actually looked pretty interesting, where you just constantly progress and see different parts of your character's life.
Cesar, what was the game you texted me about? You were asking about the eye tracking. Was it Rez?
I don't remember. I think so.
It was one of those shooters that I know is on Quest, because you were comparing the Quest and the PSVR 2 one. But the Quest, I just have the Quest 2. The Quest Pro, the $1,500 one, is the one that has the eye tracking stuff built in. So if you look at the tech standpoint from even just that separates the PlayStation VR 2. I think it was Res. Like, how does that work and it not see your blinking? Because you're supposed to be able to like select menu items and stuff by moving your eyes around, which is wicked. The Foglands. What else was in this show, Brant? This state of the play.
They showed Destiny 2 Lightfall. That's just more of an expansion for Destiny.
The official...
For Destiny players, I'm sure it was exciting. For me, it was not really.
Yeah, it
my
looks
thing.
like it's out this week as of this recording. Why are they still messing with Destiny when they need to fix Halo Infinite? They need to get back to that, even though Season 3 is almost upon us.
So next, they went over what we're getting next month for March's PlayStation Plus stuff, including Chia, which is like a day and date release. So they're doing like the same thing they did with Stray.
Oh,
with that.
That's a good incentive.
So it's launching on PlayStation Plus March 21st. The other PlayStation Plus titles, so this will be like your essential tier, will be Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein.
That's a solid lineup. Even if Battlefield 2042 is a little easy and unchallenging, as Cesar and I found out. Minecraft Dungeons is a big get. The family might try that one out. It would be beneficial, I think, to have a Minecraft-related thing that more than one person could play at a time, the way things are trending in this household.
Then they went through a game called Humanity, where it looks like you guide a bunch of, like, a huge pack of humans through these weird little puzzles and things. A lot of it, I saw these things where you have them going over this jump platform, and there's just, dozens and dozens going all across at once, and going through these puzzles and these maze type deals. And the seeing all of them go over that jump platform made me think of the puzzles from Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Watching that video, I was like, it's like the puzzles from Ratchet and Clank.
Sending all the ghost clanks through the different portals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I just watched that Chia trailer in the background. That game looks beautiful.
Yeah, we'd seen a little bit of that before.
Jump between animals and objects to solve puzzles and make your way through the environment. Day 1 on PlayStation Plus, March 21st. That's dope.
Yep. It's a good
Yeah.
incentive,
That
like
is
you
awesome.
said. Then we got another look at Goodbye Volcano High. That's kind of like the
Oh yeah, those dinosaur looking things.
it's like the
Yeah, angsty
dinosaur.
teenage
It's
dinosaurs.
like kind of it's like a mishmash of all sorts of different things because it like parts of it looked like a visual novel and then parts of it they had almost like a rhythm game thing
Yeah.
going. But that's launching June 15th. Then they showed off the Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm collection. So this is a collection of all of the Ultimate Ninja Storm games, which I know I had
You're
enjoyed.
calling it connections. Is that because it's all of the things?
Oh,
There will be
yeah.
new playable characters on top of the 124 from earlier in the series. Yeah, it's like a big culmination, like you were saying.
It looks like it's all of everything together.
All of the Borutos.
What I'm guessing is maybe a timed exclusive and was kind of the big shock of the show was Baldur's Gate 3. We got a good looking trailer, and it's all it said was it's coming out to PlayStation 5 August 31st.
This has been early access on
So-
PC for like 4 years, it feels like. Another Bombcast reference. I remember Vinny talking about that a long time ago and how rough it was in that first early access bit. I've never played a Baldur's Gate except for the hack and slash ones.
I want to say I played some Baldur's Gate on like the PlayStation 2. That's how long ago
That
it was.
would have been Dark Alliance. That would have been the console ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are more the hack. Like these are more of a PC RPG style things.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. This trailer looks amazing. Is that a console exclusive or is that coming to? I know it was on PC.
That's the thing is they all it said was PS5. So I'm guessing it's just going to be it might be PS5 exclusive, like a timed exclusive kind of deal.
No, they came and clarified this. Is your favorite thing, Richard? They didn't go with the Series X version because I mean the Xbox version because they're having issues doing co-op on the same console.
Gotcha.
And they said they didn't want to release an inferior version, so they said it's coming to Xbox. They just don't have a release date yet until they can get past that issue of doing co-op on the same screen. The same thing that plagued Halo Infinite that worked somehow that wasn't supposed to work.
That's weird.
Why is that such a struggle?
They didn't say, so they just said that's the reason why the Xbox release date hasn't been announced yet, because people were getting mad that they're saying that the studio was not supposed to be exclusive, and they said they weren't going to be. So,
And yet this is clearly co-op. They're showing me side by side gameplay here. Is it because there's two Xbox SKUs to have to deal with?
the rumors going around is that there's no official word, but the rumor is Series S is holding it back. That's the rumor.
So it'd be like
Because they can't do on the same screen co-op on the Series S.
it'd be like trying to get a developer to mandate a PS4 and a Vita copy of each one that they do.
And see, Sony, you know, they have the same console. They just removed the drive, so I think that's why they don't
Right,
have
it's
that
the same
issue,
thing
so.
underneath
But-
the hood.
But it's been going on for a while that a lot of people say they've been having issues with the Series S because they have to have parity with the Series X version. So
Which they usually do fine. They just end up, cutting the frame rate or making it 1080p or something like that, right? Is that still not feasible? I didn't think you had to have a beefy PS or a PC to play this.
I don't know. They didn't say that. That's all they would
Yeah.
say is that they didn't give much information. All they said was that there's difficulties getting co-op working on Xbox, and they didn't want to release a inferior
Renee
game.
says specifically that's why I want to get rid of the S. Is he that big of a Baldur's Gate fan?
But that's nobody knows the true reason or why. That's all
I mean,
they
that
said.
checks out. The theory checks out. That makes sense. That just doesn't seem like... I need to see what the PC specs for this game are.
Next, we had a trailer for Wayfinder, the online multiplayer game. That's like it's more like a fantasy world deal, coming to beta in, actually now, February 28th. So probably by the time you release this, you can go play the beta.
Yeah. Is this a
We
is this
got
a MOBA or a free to play?
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Oh, so you can shoot in it. The art style looks nice. Okay, moving along. I'm watching trailers. Street Fighter 6. How did Street Fighter 6 look?
Yes, they revealed 3 more characters for Street Fighter 6. We got to look at Zangief, Lily, and Cammy. And of course, Street Fighter is coming out June 2nd.
That art style is gorgeous, man. They did something with this game. It looks so beautiful.
We got yet another look at Resident Evil 4. Just shut up and give me the damn game already. Coming out March 24th.
Oh, it's soon.
They also did announce, not in this presentation, but I want to say it was before this presentation, like the day before, that VR is coming to this game as free DLC.
Update, yeah.
Later on down.
Ooh,
the road.
Mercenaries mode. We gonna play some Mercenaries?
And oh yeah,
Are we gonna play it?
Hell
Mercenaries
yeah.
is fun.
I saw that.
And the demo. There's a demo coming. This game looks crazy.
And then the quote unquote. Well, it was. I guess it was the biggest announcement of the show because it took up the most time. It was the in-depth kind of presentation on Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Which the more I see of this game, the less interested I am.
It's one of those. It's crossed over.
So the game's out on May 26th. Obviously, we talked about the leak Battle Pass. They did confirm that there is going to be a Battle Pass. It's all going to be cosmetic stuff. But this is a third-person shooter game. So each character is third person. It is always online. If you are playing...
Even for single player?
Yes, even if you're playing single player. If you choose one person, then the other 3 spots will be filled by AI. By some bots.
As it should be. Should it be? You always have to have the people filled out.
They showed pieces, a story beat from the game, and it didn't look, the story beat didn't look bad, but the whole gimmick where, especially I saw people kind of dumping their own social commentary on it, and knowing the characters, you have Deadshot, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and Boomerang. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you can kill things with Deadshot's signature guns, or you can kill things with Harley Quinn's signature guns, or you can kill things with King Shark's signature guns, or Boomerang's signature guns." Even though, yeah, it works for Deadshot. He's the only one that consistently uses guns.
So is the concern how differently they're gonna play?
Yeah, it looks kind of like a grindy kind of Destiny or that Avengers game kind of deal. This is one of those things that we've again, that's another thing we've talked about is the length of development time that these AAA games have had, and maybe this game made sense 5-6 years ago when you had things emerging like Destiny and Fortnite and all this stuff, and they were like, yeah, we'll add this and this and this. But at this point in time, it looks pretty samey. It doesn't do a lot to stand out. And like I said,
things change so fast in this industry. As much as things stay the same, they change so quickly.
The Battle Pass and always online thing. And yes, I know that I play Overwatch, but that's a free game. They want you to pay $60 for this, and you have to be online, even if you're just playing single player, which is You should be able to play single player offline.
Are they going to have the big giant thing on the box saying, hey, online connectivity required?
Probably.
Yeah. Speaking of big things on the box, have y'all seen like the European ratings, like the German games? It takes up like a third of the box on the front. It's ugly as shit. They look awful. I think it's specifically Germany because it's not always a PEGI rating. It's usually it's like a specific German box art. It's very, very bad. Takes up a lot of the artwork. All right, was that it? Was that the state of play?
That was the entire state of play.
The state of play is strong. I still want to...
Not what a lot of people were saying, but...
Oh, there's some heavy hitters in there. There's a shit ton of people playing...
I thought it was all right.
You had some new announcements for your new VR platform.
Yeah.
You had some great updates for PlayStation Plus. You had... I closed out of my thing somehow. There's a shit ton of people playing Destiny 2. You've got them in-house, so you're going to brag on them. You showed off a game coming direct day and date with a release date to PlayStation Plus like Stray did, which got like groundswell of backing and was in a bunch of Game of the Year discussions, remember? Like Game Awards and stuff. I think it was one of your Game of the Years, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing is, I mean, they did come out and say this is going to be third-party stuff. And I loved how, like, people were already in, Twitter responding to it, going like, oh, yeah, and, like, posting pictures of Spider-Man and this, that, and I'm like, they said third-party, guys. You're not going to see Spider-Man here.
It's like, this is a Nintendo Direct focused solely on indies. Will we get Metroid Prime 4 announced here? No, never. That was never going to happen. Yeah, you got a Street Fighter 6 update with new characters and a new trailer. You got a Resident Evil 4. Like, they're doing a good job at road mapping these next few things, which is what you want with one of these state of play direct type presentations, right? Here's what I have to look forward to. I know what I'm going to be playing and not playing the next couple of months on this platform. That's not a free-to-play game or something. Speaking of games coming to service on your platform, these are your Xbox Game Pass games coming up soon. These go up.
Most of them are already out.
Most of them are already out. Yeah, it's a couple for the 28th here. Available today, that's the 21st, is Atomic Heart. Oh, man, that's already out? It's been out almost a week. That's like the Bioshock looking. Has anybody checked this out? Or am I jumping to games played?
I have
Nobody?
not yet.
Okay. Atomic Heart coming to cloud, console, and PC February 21st. Coming soon, Merge and Blade, February 28th. Soul Hackers 2, February 28th. A sequel to Cesar's at Sega Saturn. Soul Hackers. Finally. And on 3DS as well. I might try that one out. I know it went on sale pretty quick, but it's not a key factor of a good game or not. F1 22 comes to console and PC EA Play March 2nd. So the start of... God, we're already in March already. Holy shit. We Long Fallen Dynasty, March 3rd. Available day one with Game Pass, Cloud Console, and PC. Updates we're not reading. Ultimate Perks we're not reading because people come to this for Halo news and there's no Halo stuff in there. Leaving February 28th. This is probably a bigger list. Alien Isolation. It's a good-ass game. Crown Trick, which I think is the prequel to Ghost Trick, the game that Nintendo shut off last week. It's not. Don't listen to me. Dragon Ball Fighters Z, which is going to be an Evo this year, I saw. Still a strong Dragon Ball Fighter game. Far, Changing Tides, don't know what that is. Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. That is the second title in that trilogy. Madden NFL 21, sure, that's fine. Take away the Madden from 2 years ago. We don't need that one anymore. And Octopath Traveler. Renee, did you hear that? Renee, alert. Renee, it's time to buy your copy of Octopath Traveler for Xbox. I think he gets 10% off with Game Pass, so that's, if he wants to keep playing, 10% off. It's worth it after that 200-hour investment he's in so far. I'm waiting for I'm not giving Xbox money comment on YouTube here. I'm just giving you a hard time, Renee.
He's not giving them money, but he's just going to buy a whole bunch of
Get your
consoles.
$500 box that does marginally better. Well, apparently it'll play Gate 3 and not the S. That's weird, man. We're on to games played. I spent the better part of the weekend camping with family. So I, of course, found a way to isolate myself and play some games. Get away from them. We came to get away together. We're going to be a family in the woods. No, I'm going to play some games. I spent a couple hours one day just kind of tinkering around with some stuff. I progressed in Metroid Prime. Brant, did you get your physical one? I think you were waiting for that to come in. Did you get yours yet?
No, like most people, it got delayed till March 28th. But then I got an update Thursday or Friday about it coming this week. Like, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that.
I think my physical copy is supposed to be here Tuesday. So if you don't have it by Thursday...
Yeah, I meant to drop by a store and just check and see if they had it, but I never got around to that.
If you don't have it by Thursday and you're dying to play, let me know, and if I have mine, I'll bring you my copy and we can swap when you get yours. But so when you get to this part, I think I talked about going into the Phazon mines last week. This is a long, drawn out. It's not difficult. I'm playing on casual, so it's not like super difficult. But there's no save places. And Metroid Prime is already like isolating and alien, and it's super atmospheric, and you never know what's around the corner. And it just fills you with this sense of dread that you don't know what's around the corner, and you don't have a save place. Like, I can't refill my energy, and I'm fighting these new things, and I'm scanning all this shit. And, that's how the lore builds in this universe, is you're scanning computer terminals, and you're getting space pirate entries, and you're, like, reading about these experiments they're doing, and... Like, I'll open a door with the ice beam and I peer through it and there's a big giant room and I'm like, fuck, something's going to come after me when I come through here. And I haven't saved in an hour. And I know that's where I was telling y'all last week because I was trying to take a picture of all the Metroid Primes across the different versions, in my one setup. And I couldn't save. Like, I didn't want to exit out to the main menu to leave where I had gotten to. So that was like this arduous experience. And it was almost like, today, and I still put it to sleep a couple times through this playthrough, but, back in the day, we had no way you couldn't put it to sleep or something. You just told people, like, don't touch the GameCube. Change the input on the TV, don't touch the GameCube, don't do anything with the NES. Mine and friend of the show, Joel's playthrough of Zelda one time was borderline ruined from somebody, like, kicking the NES accidentally or pulling the cord, and it just froze. It froze the whole screen. It's like, no. Or Super Mario Brothers 3, you can't save anywhere through there. So if something glitches on your NES, you're just hosed on that. But the result of that was meeting the elite pirates, which are like these giant-ass space pirates that have been infused with Phazon. And you're meeting more of what the space pirates are doing to this universe and the creatures in it. And it's like disastrous experiments. And they're also, as you're scanning some of the intel and stuff, they're getting more and more paranoid about Samus. Like, they know what Samus did to them on Zebes, and they're like, if you find the bounty hunter, there's actually a bounty on the bounty hunter, so if you could kill her, get the weapons, we need the reverse engineer. And now they've reverse engineered some of my weaponry, and certain space pirates can only be killed with that weapon. So there's like wave troopers and power troopers, so I have to change... beams and kill them with those beams, or the ice troopers. So it's kind of a way of adding to, I mean, the gameplay's still solid, but it's a way of adding to the sameness of the enemies. It's not just the same old space pirates coming after you. There's a new way you have to encounter them. But I got the super bomb, and now so that enables you to blow up. There's like a material that's blocking certain doors and stuff. I think it's called benzamite or something like that. So now with the super bomb part of the morph ball, you can blow past those things. So I got to a save space and it was like, man, it was like an RPG run from back in the day. It's like, yes, finally I can heal and save my game at last. So when I was able to do that, because I couldn't change off the game. Like, it would boot into software and close that one. So I was like, I'm not doing that with that one. But I started up Minish Cap. I'm playing more of Minish Cap. I beat the first dungeon on that. And that gives you the gust. What do they call that thing? The gust cannon. It's like a pot that shoots out air. But it usually, actually, it's like a vacuum. So it'll suck things to you and it'll pull up dust off the floor, revealing switches and stuff that was hidden before. Gust jar. That's it. It'll reveal switches in the dungeon that you have to activate. And then later in the dungeon, you know, sometimes the Zelda weapon's just kind of used for one thing. Like throw the boomerang, hit the switch. Throw the boomerang, hit that. This actually, you had to blow out the puffs of air. You're on you're in the Minish town. So the Minish are like the little people. You're in one of their shrines. So you're on a lily pad and you have to use the gust jar to like navigate the lily pad around the end of the map. And that was really cool. And, the final boss of that dungeon was a big choo-choo, monster like from the Wind Waker. I forgot this is in that Wind Waker art style universe type stuff. Like the King of Hyrule looks like the king from, the Red Dragons, that was that version of the King of Hyrule. Minish Cap is so good, man. And as I'm playing these puzzles and going through this dungeon, I'm just smiling ear to ear. Like, this is such a definitive Zelda experience. Minish Cap is a true Zelda game. It is not a bastard offshoot of any kind. It is awesome. I also, in the same mad fury of gameplay in a tent trying to keep mosquitoes off of me in South Georgia, my youngest child and I played through the Kirby Return to Dreamland demo that's on the eShop, or Kirby Wii, as Cesar likes to call it. And I did look since last week. We have the same box art, but ours says Return to Dreamland Deluxe, blah, blah, blah. And that one literally says Kirby Wii, which is great. So we played this. They knew they'd watched me play Forgotten Lands, and I think they have the demo on their Switch. So they were expecting more of that, and I was like, no, this is kind of how, like, your uncle and I, these were the Kirby games that we played. You move left to right, and you jump, and you can't die because you just float infinitely. And the big thing behind it is you'll copy abilities. So if you see, like, an enemy using a fire attack against you, you inhale them, and instead of spitting them out, you hit down and copy their ability. So this one is one of those Kirby games with the copy ability, which seem to be hit and miss with Kirby games these days. When we were growing up, that was a Kirby game. It's like, oh, you copy the ability. And so there was a lot of level variety with going through that demo. And the demo is it's the first world, but you play stage 1, stage 2, and then the boss, who of course is Wispy Woods. It's always Wispy Woods in a Kirby game. The tree with the apples coming down on you. And my youngest child played well. There were a couple times we had to share health. Like, you can press your characters against each other and they like smooch or something, and you see the health bars even out. And so that was like a good assist thing. And then just getting the flow of, there's things, and friend of the show Jeremy's playing his first Zelda game, so there's some lore and like some wisdom, I guess, or some understandings of the way these universes work that we understand. Like, I haven't played this specific Kirby game, but I know when I get hit and I have my item's going to go flying. I got to like suck the item back in and recopy it. So there's some of that language that my kid's having to learn as we play together, but it's a beautiful game. Russell was like glancing over every once in a while. I was like, damn, it does look, and I got the OLED Switch. He's like, damn, that does look pretty good. So then my child, of course, doesn't understand. Like, I told him it's a demo. Like, this just came out. I downloaded this so we could try it out, sort of thing. Oh, you don't have this one? Can we get this one? And I had not been planning to buy it, so there may be a full purchase coming up pretty soon of Kirby Wii for the Switch, so we can continue our playthrough, because the demo was awesome. There's like some super, and I didn't play this game, so I don't remember this from another Kirby game either, but there's like a super weapon you can get in certain parts of the level, and there's a meter that ticks down, almost like a limit break, but it'll be like a super sword. So when you use the sword, it does these beautiful like watercolor things. Like, it goes all the way across the screen, and the Waddle Dees come flying at the screen like TMNT style, Turtles in Time, where they like hit the screen. Anything that you like slice through, and it's like watercolor and real shiny, and there's no lag or anything. It's super colorful. It's wild to see that go off, and after that first one, I was like, why don't you get the special? You get the power up. And then they're just like swinging the sword or throwing the fire thing or whatever it is. And it's just this huge production across the screen. It's like a limit break. And it's a lot of fun. It looks really good. And seeing what the enemies do, like how they react, because it just decimates everything. If they're on screen, it's destroying whatever it is that's on screen in this super dramatic fashion. But from what we played in the demo, it was kick-ass. This might have to be purchased soon. I mentioned that I didn't own it and we would have to buy it as like a, maybe in the future type thing, and it's come up twice in the past 24 hours, so it's not. They've latched onto that one. It may be an imminent purchase for Kirby Wii. It did.
Came out this weekend, so.
And they lay it on thick when you beat the demo. It's like, play all these levels and the Magalore expansion, which I kind of laughed about it when we were talking about when it was announced and kind of shown off. But it almost seems like a Bowser Fury type add-on. Like there's a whole nother game added to this title. Oh, friend of the show, Matt's on the YouTubes calling me a geek. Yes, I'm a geek, and I love you too, of course. But those are my games played as I isolated from my family in a swamp in South Georgia fighting mosquitoes. What you guys got?
For me, I think I put in some more time at Forspoken. Towards the end of the game, we've gotten to the part of the game where Frey finds out that one of her mothers is one of the Tantas, that she's slowly killing them all. And so it sets up that showdown at the very end of the game that you're gonna have to confront your mother, the one that abandoned you in New York, and try to get the whole story about the reason behind that. I remember you saying that
from the story.
But that's the only thing that's changed since then from that one. So I'm on the third Tanta. I got to beat them before I can go confront her mother. So I'll probably put only a couple more hours into it.
Are you close to the end?
Yeah. I got a couple more chapters and I'm done. I only put like 20 hours into it. It's probably like a 25
Those story beats sound good. They kind of sold it short. Like the reviews and impressions I read, that sounds like a good payoff story wise.
It starts out slow in the first 3 chapters and it speeds up now. There's literally chapters where I just fight a boss and the chapter's completed. Before that was like complete a whole area for a chapter.
Do you think people were just sold it short based off those first 3 chapters or so?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. The story's fine, but I mean, the story's just equivalent to whatever 2000s action film that you remember back in the day. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. So I mean, I've played worse things than that, but I guess people expected this high bar from the Final Fantasy 15 team.
The Luminos.
So, yeah. Outside of that, I put in like maybe 2 or 3 hours in Wild Hearts. And that is a Monster Hunter ass game. So, I mean, you literally just start out as a hunter who shows up on an island where these Camonos are just all over the place destroying, and they're like these giant creatures with different abilities. So I think that part I got up to is I did the character creation where you meet this guy who plays like a guitar, and you kind of decide your character, and he kind of gives the back story of the whole island. Like there's not many hunters on there, and so like you're just there, and it gives you reasons how you can do your backstory and all that. I'm not sure how that plays into. So I'm at the point now where I fought the first one, which was like an ice Kemono, and then I lost and fell on the ground. And then it's very reminiscent of I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's Monster Hunter-esque battles where you just run around and dodge a lot, because that first battle is basically what it was, and I didn't beat it. But it does give you abilities kind of like Breath of the Wild. Like you can build these columns and stuff like that, and different aspects on there. And the fucking stamina meter is straight Breath of the Wild, because I'm climbing on the wall and you see the little circle going down as I'm trying to hurry up there. But outside of that, I'm just going on to the first village. I haven't gotten there yet, so I'll probably only put a couple hours into it as I go through it. And I haven't really had much time in there. I just figure I'll try it out while I had a moment. And the only other game I played on my list was Grim Guardians came out this week, so I went and played that one.
That actually came out this week?
Yeah. And that is like a Symphony of the Night Light game. So I mean it is very, very much like a Symphony of the Night. The only difference is
how the hell did I miss that?
I don't know. It's like Symphony of the Night. I think I've only completed the first 3 levels. There's 7 levels in that game, and it's like you mentioned before. It's just a spinoff to Galgun.
Yeah.
And they get transported to this devil dimension from the main villain from the first game. I forgot what her name is. It's throwing me off right now. But the only difference between that one is that there's not much backtracking. Kind of like it's not like a Castlevania. It's not like a Metroidvania type game where you could have free access to the map all the time. There's certain transportation rooms that you can go back to previous levels, and when you get different abilities to rescue people and free them or whatever. But that's about as far as it goes in the backtracking. It's mostly just an action. It's mostly just like the action parts of Castlevania or Bloodstain. But it's very much in that ability. I think the only cool thing is like it is a 2-player game, so you can have a co-op with somebody, which is cool. When the person dies, when your characters die, it's kind of like Dark Souls-esque, where they stand where they die, and you have to go give them CPR. So you have to go over there and press triangle, and just give them CPR to bring them back to life.
Come back to me.
Because if they both die, then you lose a life, and you got to start over from the very beginning of the stage. So there's not save rooms in that game. So it's like the only save room is once you complete the level. So like I said, I would call it like a Castlevania light type thing. I think I'm on the 3rd level, where I'm facing like this giant night ghost, which this is the one I'm having issues with right now because it's been pretty straightforward and it hasn't been that bad. And as you beat these villains are like characters from the Galgun games, so they're just been transformed in there. And like if you're good in that series and you know it very well, then you'll recognize them as you go through. But that's the only one I'm stuck on right now because it uses a ship, like a pirate ship that shoots cannons at you, and then you have like these middle platforms with water, and then he freezes the water and he hits at different angles. It's that same bullshit where you beat the boss and kill him, and then he comes back alive with a full bar again. You got to kill him again, and so it's like it's a lot of trial.
My least favorite mechanic.
After that, I stopped. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I think that's everything that I've played this week. So I'll kick it over to you, Brant.
Neither of you talked about the Warzone we got in on Monday.
I didn't know if anybody would want the weekly Warzone update.
But we got a win together. Well, technically, Cesar got the win. Cesar was the last one alive, and he fucking
was that the first one of the day?
Dominated it,
or was that a couple rounds in?
That was the last one because like literally we got that win. You were telling him, hey, take a screenshot, take a game capture.
That was such a good clip.
And then we couldn't hear anybody, and stuff dropped off.
Oh yeah, because we were in the game chat because you're playing on PS5. Are there any haptic things with the PS5?
Hectic thing. Oh yeah.
Balls.
Which is like part of me is like most of my the biggest thing is my storage on Xbox is pretty damn full, and I just kind of don't feel like deleting stuff and having to because holy crap, Warzone takes so freaking much.
If you want, Brand, you can. I sent you that code for the beta. If you jump on that PlayStation beta, we can all start using Discord because that code lets you use the PlayStation Discord for audio chat.
And we still get game audio from that too.
That would be the easier thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already. Yeah,
I'll go ahead. Then I'm the whole back. I'll go ahead and try it out.
I just have to figure out how to.
Yeah, because I mean, on the Xbox, you have the Discord on Xbox also for the voice chat.
That gives us way better chat,
Discord.
and we have party chat. We don't have to deal with all the randos near us and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just have to figure out how to link the Discord on the PS5
Probably system settings,
which shouldn't be hard.
Right?
I don't remember. It's been a while. I think it's like Xbox. You think you go into chat and there's an option to sign in with the Discord or something like that. You have to sign in with Discord.
It's like a probably. If I remember correctly, it's like a QR code that pops up on your screen. You just do it on your phone.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Since you had that, we can just do Discord next time to solve that issue.
Which that actually updated. It's now like a 3.0 beta. But I later that day finished Wind Waker.
He sent us a screenshot. That's right.
Some screenshots.
The end.
So I really like the story. I really like the art style.
And that final battle again is still one of my favorite, man. How you take them down.
Yeah. So the whole thing with how I still feel like it was almost like incomplete or rushed still applies. Because you run around. You got those last week I was talking about. I have to run around and hunt down these Triforce pieces.
How long did that take? Because
So,
I feel like you
I
beat
did all
it within
that.
the next day or so.
Yeah, I mean, I devoted some hours to it, but I mean, honestly, yeah, between the Swift Sail, and the it's like the Ballad of
Gales? Yeah.
Gales or something like that, that allows you to fast travel. You can get from place to place pretty quickly, if you know where you're going. Which, of course, I have a guide for it, so I just used exactly where I needed to go. And then after that, it's literally, it's like, oh, you got the Triforce piece. All right, let's go check on the princess. And of course, Ganon's already found the princess. And now it's like, all right, well, we got to go confront him. And so you walk into a dungeon, and it's literally split into five paths. The door you walk in, there's a main door across from you that's locked, and there's 4 other branching paths. So, well, yeah, I guess that's technically 6.
6 branching paths.
Each door leads to
Could you try again?
a little.
It says matching pants on here.
Always, she has to go off every podcast. So each door leads to like a little area that you have to get to the other side of and enter a door, and that takes you to a monochrome fight with every boss battle that you've had thus far.
What?
So you just relive the boss battles. Of course, they're a lot easier now because you're
super powered, yeah.
powered up.
Sounds a lot like
But it's like
Link's Awakening.
okay.
Remember Link's Awakening on the Windfish battle had a bunch of shadow versions. Yeah.
But it's literally like because it limits your inventory too when you enter those battles. So like the first you enter that monochrome battle with the big ass centipede, and you only have your little hook shot deal in your inventory. You don't have your bombs, your arrows, all that stuff.
I mean, it could be worse. It could make you do it in Mega Man style. Full on.
Did they
battles.
strip your items from you?
So
Is that
no, it's just while you're in that battle, you're like limited to whatever you were supposed to
gotcha?
have, I guess. I mean, technically, you still have your Master Sword and all the whatever else you had, like your bottle of potions and whatnot. But the key items. So you go through all of those, and that leads you into another room where you have to solve a small little mini puzzle, and go into a room that just leads you into it's almost like a mini maze kind of deal. Think of like the Lost Woods, where you're surrounded by 4 doors and you have to choose the correct door every time. And to do that, a Shadow Ganon pops up. You fight him, or like falls and lands. It'll point towards which door you need to go through.
Yeah.
So you just got to pay attention. You get through those.
It's the
you get
same as the
light
Lost
arrows.
Wood, like hearing the little bit of music playing at the entryway to each one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you do all that, and then you get to an area where you fight. Where Ganon is there, and he tests you with this Ganon puppet, which is there's 3 different forms. There's like a marionette kind of deal, a spider, and then a snake form. The biggest thing is there's like a big jewel on the puppet, and you've got to find it and shoot it 3 times, and it breaks, and then it reforms into the next form. The marionette, obviously, you cut the strings, and then you find the I think it's like close to his tail. You fire at the gem. The spider form like goes up in the up into the sky. You can't see him, but the whole floor in this area is reflective water. So you can just look down at the floor and see where it's at, because the spider kind of, it follows you and then drops down and tries to crush you, but you can just back up and try and get in between its legs, or you can see where the giant gem is and just back up and then fire at the gem. And then the last one is the snake. The snake is quite possibly the worst freaking one of all. It just like zooms around the room, and there's no way to not get hit by it in certain parts. You can just kind of put your back to the
minimize
wall
the damage.
the best. But at one point, he will just come towards you and just hit you over and over again a few times. But you do that, and Ganon is just more enticed by the idea of fighting you. So you go to the final encounter. You fight him, like Cesar said. That battle is actually pretty dang good. And you defeat Ganon for forever.
He's gone.
This timeline. He's gone. You defeat him. It's done. You sealed him. You get you and the Pirate Zelda go back to the new surface and set sail to create a new Hyrule, I guess, technically. And what follows is Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Which
you're on the record for liking those, right?
Wind Waker is good. I think I enjoyed the DS games better, or more. I think I got more enjoyment out of them. Not that Wind Waker's any lesser.
Right. But
like I said, I felt like there was a lot of potential with Wind Waker, and like you said, there must have been stuff that got left on the cutting room floor. Yeah. And that was also definitely.
I mean, you played the best version of that game, but that was a great game on a console that was starved for, like, all it was the kiddie console, and it's got a handle and all this nonsense. It doesn't play DVDs. It was just this barrage of stuff against it. And then here's the new Zelda game, and we were shown this thing at Space World. It was this amazing, real-looking battle and stuff, and instead we get the Zelda, the cel-shaded Zelda. It's a kiddie Zelda, all this stuff. And then once people played it, it's like that all went out the door. So I think there were some excuses. I wouldn't say there were some excuses made by media or anything at the time, because it got tins and stuff from those venues and reviews, but it was such an important game for that platform, especially at that time. It sold a bunch of consoles at a time when not much else was selling those consoles.
Yeah. And like I said, between the art style, the story and everything, and the whole, you called it the cell genre when you were
cell genre.
When you were you had Wind Waker, and it was Black Flag. You going back in between Pirate on the High Seas. Yeah, I think you might have been dabbling in some what was it, Sea of Thieves a little bit with your brother as well.
I think I cut off Sea of Thieves by then.
You did. You played the beta of that, and then once it came out for real, you stopped playing Sea of Thieves.
Pretty much.
But
there's two people in our chat that want me to play Sea of Thieves, so here we go.
But yeah, it's a damn good game. So between that, I know after that you had asked me about the aspect ratio on
Metroid Prime trilogy.
The Metroid Prime trilogy. So I actually booted that up for, I don't know, it's a 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Played through that first intro bit up to the part where you run back to your ship and lose all your stuff.
Go into the Forget and
But
all.
I can't wait till the remaster comes in because it was a good little tease to play that intro bit to Metroid Prime again.
And what's awesome is that like
it's been a
now
minute.
that you did that run, and that's a good sample, so you have in your mind like, okay, this is what Metroid Prime looks like and controls like. So then you're gonna get that one in and like look around and feel the new dual stick. It's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be digging that.
The last Metroid Prime I played was 3 Corruption on the Wii when it released, and I haven't touched Metroid Prime, and I can't tell you how long. Those Wii controls on the Prime trilogy were not bad. I had a couple times where the pointer would kind of go wayward and like go straight up for a second, but I was able to like get it back. But it did that a couple of times where it would just like start
fishing.
drifting.
Yeah, it's like you're fishing for it. Like whoa, come back down, come back down.
And I don't remember Corruption being like that. I don't remember ever having a problem with Metroid Prime 3 when I played it. Gosh, so many years ago when it released.
Was that 2007? It's 15 years old, 16 years old.
But it was a beautiful game.
I never sold. It's in that time period of did I sell that or not? I did not sell Metroid Prime 3. I took pre-orders for Metroid Prime 3. But I never sold Metroid Prime 3.
So other than that, during the week I didn't get a chance to play too much. There was the missus is working on schoolwork, so me and my son actually were looking for something to do. And
as you do.
I was like, you know what? We haven't played the Link play of some of those Game Boy games. We want to try Tetris, so we played like 3 or 4 rounds of Game Boy Tetris together.
How does it work? How does the Link work?
It's literally just like the NES or SNES. It pops up. You can share your screen if you want to.
Add the person to the game session thing.
But you just add them to the session and go into the game. Select 2-player. You'll pop up and then you go.
Yeah.
You have your screen.
That's really cool.
They have their screen. There's a little bar on the side that shows you how far up they have built and stuff like that. But of course he doesn't have the expansion, so we couldn't do like Mario Kart Circuit for Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. But we did jump into some other. We did jump into. I said, "Hey, what else do you want to play?" He's like, "I don't know." So I put him in charge, and he of all the other ones, he jumped into the NES, and we played some Super Mario Bros. Okay. We played Balloon Fight, which is always
Balloon Fight is a good time. Hit. Underappreciated.
We both fought to try and figure out Wrecking Crew, which took us a second, and there was some of those things where it like randomly generates these things for you to tear down, and there's sometimes because there's like weird little enemies and stuff that'll like chase you around the stage and where there were sometimes we'd get in there and we'd try multiple things. We're like, how are you supposed to get this before they get you? Because they're on you the whole time, and it's weird because they have the enemies that pop up and chase you.
Wrecking Crew's a black box game, right?
Yes. And there's also like a little fireball that'll like pop up and go across the screen sometimes. So it intentionally tries to screw you.
I remember the characters.
It was just like Mario.
Yeah, this isn't Iwata.
This is an
Iwata game.
They still called it. Yeah, they still called them Mario and Luigi, but they didn't change the palette of the character at all. We played some Donkey Kong as well. And then the one we had the most fun with and probably spent the most time with, the NES Pro Wrestling.
Yes! That was a hit a couple years ago at the beach. That's how you remember the Pro Wrestling marathons?
Gosh.
That was a hit.
Starman and Big Panther and like all these crazy names. The Amazon. And all the crazy moves they do, like the Amazon dude, he's like a fish guy, and he'll straight up just like grab the person and like start chomping on their head. What was it? The big panther dude. He like literally he'll just take his hand and like shove it in the person's mouth and like sit there with them like that, and then they just fall over. We're like, what the heck?
Wrestling's good stuff.
It was you just grabbing each other and throwing you back and forth across the ring and trying to clothesline you and just figuring all that out. It was, for a game to be so simple, it was a heck of a lot of fun.
That service had just come out when we were doing a vacation to the beach, and that was the game we were all, with all those classics that launched on that service, that's the one we were hooked on. We played a lot of pro wrestling that week.
But between all, I'm like, man, this is actually a pretty violent title for the NES too. I'm like, I'm surprised I didn't hear more about, oh, it's bloody and characters bite each other and this, that, and the other, and because there's actual like little pixel blood and stuff that happens, but we had a lot of fun with that.
Good. NES still has some bangers, man. Some good stuff on there.
NES is a good time. And then today, just because I don't know, I guess I'm still kind of in the mood for some classic Zelda.
Minish Cap.
And I looked at the timeline, the official Zelda timeline, and I popped in Skyward Sword HD.
Oh, is this your first attempt?
So, yes.
I'm pretty far into it. I'm at the start of a dungeon.
So
what do you think?
That intro is painful.
Yeah.
That intro is painful.
And coming off Twilight Princess, you'd think it would be more of a streamlined. It's rough.
I'm not super crazy about the art style. Like, it's okay.
Oh, it's beautiful. Get out of here, Brent. I can't meet you on that one.
But for a Zelda, and especially with how dark a lot of the Zeldas were in the past, it's, I don't know. It's a little weird. Like, Wind Waker was beautiful and vibrant, but this has, I don't know, it's got that weird Wii look to it.
It's like a muted watercolor almost. It's not the full, and it's different from, and you're coming off of hours of the cell shading that was so beautiful. So that's hell of a contrast.
And the other thing, I think what really probably off-put people from this game was it got a lot of the shoehorn things that were, it's a product of its time. Like, obviously they had all the motion controls, because that's the biggest thing, was you were controlling exactly where you held your sword and how you swung it, and
you had to resync it all the time, like you were talking about with Metroid Prime Trilogy. It's like it would lose the tracking somehow. Yeah,
it's not as bad as what I've heard it was on the Wii, on the Switch. I mean, you just kind of flick the right stick to swing, whichever way.
Oh, you're going with the button controls?
I'm pro controller. Oh, I am pro controller all the way, buddy. It's a little awkward, but it's not bad. I know that he talked about how the stamina gauge was put into this game, and there's parts of it I'm like, but why? Like, you put the stamina gauge in there, and you're on a wall of ivy for 3 seconds at the most. It's like it barely takes away from your stamina.
They don't want you loitering on the ivy.
Yeah. The biggest thing is, like, you can't prolong run or roll, really, because that takes away from you. I'm like, so dodging isn't really a big thing in this one. I don't know. It makes you use stamina for climbing ivy, but climbing a ladder, it's fine. You climb up the longest ladder you want to. Like in Breath of the Wild, it made sense because you could climb anything. I mean, you just climb anything, but you put that stamina gauge on there as a limit. You're not gonna scale that wall all the way. I know you can't climb the mountain all the way, You know, you have to level up, you have to do this and this. So I mean, I guess it was something new for the franchise, but I wouldn't say that it was well implemented.
You could see where they took it in the next game.
Well, yeah, several years later. And the constant balancing on, you know, ropes and whatnot too is a little annoying.
And dated. Like, go back and play that bit on the first Uncharted game. Remember having to keep Drake on the log and stuff?
It's like, yep, I do not miss this mechanic at all.
No. Move along from this.
Take it far away.
Get this out of my awesome games.
But no, I've made it. Let's see. I did the ceremony. I got Fee in my sword.
Great music during that whole bit.
Oh yeah. I've gone down to the surface and I am looking for Zelda now. Tracking her down. She's run off to kind of find her place in the story here, because both Zelda and Link have a part to play, and so I'm following her through the Lost Woods, or not Lost Woods. It was it
Faron Woods,
Woods? And I'm in the Deep Woods portion, so I'm following her. She's supposed to be just found out that she's supposed to be in this temple, or on her way to the temple. So
yeah, she has a role or something, if I remember right. Like, she's gone to the surface before.
So I'm probably not too far from where you were.
Oh, I'm a good bit past that.
You're okay.
I got a good ways into that before I bailed on that one. But I'm right at, it's just like Wind Waker. I'm at the start of a dungeon. It's like I go into the dungeon, I'm like, I made it. I can relax. I'll come back to this. And I'm just sitting there at the start of it.
Like you said, you're not far from Wind. You got to do that Earth dungeon. Temple, there's one more.
The Wind Temple, you said, I think.
Yep.
And then the Triforce.
And then you got to collect the 8 Triforce pieces, and that's it. You're at the end.
Dungeon. Zelda games.
So, yeah, I'm a little off put by the combat, but it's not terrible, and it's not as bad, because my son tried to play this on the on his Switch Lite and says it was kind of awkward because I guess that kind of, I don't know if it does like almost like Joy-Con stuff for him, or if it's almost Pro Controller-ish. Yeah. However, it wouldn't handheld.
Have you tried the motion controls with the Joy-Cons with yours? Just try it. Not. Just try it. I tried both, and that was my preferred way to play it.
Okay.
Just give it a shot. They make it easy. Remember, you were talking about centering the Wii remote. They make it real easy with this one. It's like a flick or something, and you're right back on it. The shield's breaking. I mean, I have my first shield, and I've used it a few times, and it's like right there, close to breaking. I'm like, what the. That whole durability thing with them is kind of wonky. But he played it. He started playing it on his Switch, and he was like, "This is weird." So he wound up playing it on the Wii, and he said that the controls on the Wii were much harder. Yeah.
So
motion controls, baby.
Yeah, when I said I'm, piloting the loft wing and all this, because it was so much harder on the Wii. That was so much harder. And there was a portion where you have to like dive down and try and land in the circle. He said on the Wii version it was fighting you to get in the circle. He's like, you really had to fight it to get into the center when you were diving down and stuff. So, but I don't know.
Sword.
Once I got past that intro, I'm getting into it. It's it's not terrible, and I know notoriously a friend of the show, Michael, I don't know if he said it's his favorite, but I know he says it's a really, really good Zelda, and
it is.
He liked it a lot, where a lot of people poo-pooed on it. So
I got much further in that HD one than I ever did in attempts to play the Wii one, so it's definitely the version of that to play. I would agree.
Yeah, between loading times,
graphics are gorgeous.
Controls, graphics, and I know they fixed that streamline thing where every time you pick up an item, it has to go through that dial.
You got five rupees. Very nice. It's telling me that on Minish Cap right now. That's 5 rupees. Very nice. I'm like, I got it a couple minutes ago. You don't have to tell me again.
That's another one. I might be on a Zelda kick. I might try and see how many Zeldas I can get through before Tears of the Kingdom. And that's another one. Minish
really
Cap is one I've I know, right? I've started so many times and played a little bit of and then just put down. So maybe Minish Cap next.
Yeah.
Oh, also, since I had the Wii U out, I did.
I had this thing plugged in,
I did the battery upgrade on the gamepad.
Oh, where'd you get your battery from?
This was just a Chinese.
It wasn't the Nintendo one they sold.
It wasn't the official Nintendo one, but it is the was it 3600?
Send me a link to that if you don't mind. If it's a good one, if you got good results out of it so far.
Yeah, so far. Because the one that comes with it is the 1500 milliamp, and basically doubling that in there is amazing. Like I didn't even charge it. I just kind of popped it in there and turned it on real quick, and it was only like 1 bar down. So.
Damn.
But
did you use the gamepad for Wind Waker? I can't remember if we talked about it.
That's the thing is I went Pro Controller with Wind Waker as well, but every time you turn on the Wii U, the gamepad turns on. Yeah. I played that game for I don't know, like 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, and the gamepad died 3 times, and I would see it dying off to the side, and I'd plug it in, and the last time it died, I didn't even bother. Yeah. And by the time I finished the game, I was just like, dang, that gamepad died 3 times. And I checked the battery on the Pro Controller. It was down by one
Can't
bar.
Kill those Wii U Pro Controllers.
No,
They're beasts.
The Pro Controller didn't. Beast. Yeah. The Pro Controller didn't even flinch.
Speaking of batteries, this is a little side note, but I'm following, there's a Redditor on the PSP subreddit who's ordering all those various Amazon PSP batteries and testing them out and doing like there's a almost like 480p test suite. There's a battery suite for PSP that you can run, and he's running this uniform PSP battery across different models of PSP. So it won't be the official Sony one, but we may have a good solution here coming up of which one to get. Yeah, and oddly, with those Chinese listings, like the 18 milliamp hour is lasting longer than maybe it's the 15 is lasting longer than the 18 or something like that. It wasn't as drastic as the Wii U numbers you gave me. But there's one that's supposed to be a bigger capacity, and he's finding that it's not in that one. He or she, I'm sorry, is finding that it's not in that one. But if y'all want that thread, or if you just want me to keep up with it and update you when I find stuff, because I got a couple PSP batteries I'd like to grab and throw in there. Since all those original ones are like bursting out of the seams now.
Surprisingly, mine it's never been a problem. Knock on wood.
Yeah. You never had the crazy battery lid popping off?
No.
So that's already any of your PSPs do that?
No.
So it's an isolated incident. I had one do it, but then I've seen it. Of course, you've seen a bunch on like Reddit and Twitter and stuff, right? It happened to me. It could happen to you. Get a new battery or take your battery out of your device, which is probably the safest way to go.
Yeah. That's for me.
That's it for Brant. Thank half of my family's in our YouTube chat. Thank you guys for joining us all the way across the continental United States. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are in this fine United States or wherever else, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.